Malawi has one of the lowest ratios of health workers to population in Africa. There are only about 250 doctors serving the entire country of over 12 million people. So nurses often step up to fill roles that in the West would be done by doctors, like assisting in surgery. But also, just like doctors, registered nurses have a qualification in demand overseas, and that makes them prone to brain drain too. So many doctors and nurses were leaving.
Sometimes I say, I think this is just cheap labor, because what I'm doing there is not what I'm being paid for. Yeah, I do a great job, a big job, but when it comes to what you get at the end of the month, it's just very hard to get by. I would say yes, I would come. I would live.
South African Mariam Mcquattie has worked as a nurse in Britain for the past 6 years. She sends money home each month and has no plans to leave.
I've got a car here, I've got a car in South Africa, but if I was in South Africa, I believe I couldn't have, afford my car up to this time. Maybe I'll be struggling to pay my mortgage, pay the fees for my younger brother. So because I'm up here, there's nothing like, I don't feel stress on my shoulder. I can do anything easily, whatever, most of the things, I can do them without any stress.
Having kept its doors closed to foreigners for hundreds of years, Japan has finally opened up. In a brand new experiment, they've allowed in nurses from Indonesia and the Philippines to help plug the gaps. The chance of a well-paid nursing job lured Loshita from Indonesia. Japan is her key to a better life.
I wanted to come to Japan because it has advanced technologies. I wanted to see how the nurses work. And salary here is high, higher than Indonesia. Salary there is low. I want to strive for a better living.
In fact, salaries are as much as 15 times higher than in Indonesia and the Philippines.
Mildred Puno is a busy ward sister at Worthing Hospital. She came to this country 8 years ago from the Philippines as a staff nurse, and hard work meant she was promoted. Mildred was amongst the thousands of Filipino nurses who travelled thousands of miles as part of a huge recruitment drive from the Far East. Mildred was attracted by career prospects and the wages.
The first time I came here, I've told myself, well, I'm just going to stay here for 2 years, finish my contract and go home. But, well, I'm still here, so it must have been good.
The exodus of nurses is affecting healthcare. It's also putting pressure on nurses like Andrea Duncan, who decided to stay behind. She works the day shift at the state-run Georgetown Hospital. Caring for pregnant women, she stretches herself thin, handling a heavy load.
We try to give the best care as possible. Now, when you have a shortage of staff and the patient, you have lots of patients, you cannot deal adequately with one patient. You cannot listen to the patients properly. You cannot get to do what you would like to do or what you were trained to do as a nurse. I like this country. I like to be here. But if an opportunity presents itself, I'll go.
It's an ongoing battle for Guyana to guarantee decent health care for all. And with the constant flow of nurses leaving, that goal may be harder to achieve than ever.